Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Athlete in the 519. Today's guest is Mike Lachnace. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No worries.
He's a busy man. He couldn't get here yesterday. He's a little late today, so I put noonish up on the site, and that's when he'd get here. But remember to like the site. Thanks to Tim Campbell at Century 21. Give away a $50 gift card to Naughty V's restaurant. So make sure you guys come on here. Or we're also giving away 3 free tickets to the Guelph Spitfires and Guelph Storm hockey game this Thursday. So give Dylan, thanks for joining on board. Okay, usually I ask everybody that comes on here just a little bit about growing up in the 519. And you know, gradually we'll get into the football stuff, but how was it growing up? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Essex, a small town in Essex, and
Small town.
yeah, well, it was small at the time. Now I drive by there and I don't recognize it, but it was like 6,000 people there at the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a small town, but you know what? It's crazy when I look back at all the guys who went on in sports that were in my same age group. So there was guys like Jamie McDermott. Obviously, he's had wild success in junior C hockey, and Ed Filiano went on and played pro football, and now he's coaching at Concordia. And Rob McMurrin coaching at Waterloo, and Brian Taggart's at Vancouver College. I just look at all these guys that moved on and have done wonderful things and given back to their sports.
Now, did you play football as well, like going through high school?
Yeah,
or
I
played
at Essex High School for Coach Spadigue, and again, he had a bunch of guys on that team that they were a bunch of renegade type of guys, but they went on to do some wildly successful things, and it's just a testament probably to that small town mentality that everyone was working hard. And
did you play other sports, like, because Essex was always a big hockey town?
Yeah, mostly played hockey and baseball, mostly baseball and football. As I got older, those are the two that I concentrated on the most, and baseball was always my first love, but definitely football was up there.
And it's interesting about football. Like, when do you really as a kid, you don't really know you like football or anything like that, but does it generally, are you like in grade 11, grade 12 and say, hey man, I really like this, and size is a factor also.
I think I was like 100 pounds in grade 9, and I tried to play football, and I played, I think, 9 snaps the whole year. And but I still loved it. I loved that there was 50 guys on the team, and there was something for everybody. And that's what I've always loved about football is, if you're a big fat kid, they found a spot for you. If you're a little fast kid, they found a spot for you. So there was always, unlike most sports, there was a spot for somebody. But I didn't play much in grade 9, and then I had a real big growth spurt between 9 and 10, and I was the starting quarterback, and things worked out pretty good.
Oh, so that's it. You were the quarterback for the school?
Yeah.
And now, so you continue on, now you're going to university now. Did you go to university here?
Yeah, I went to the University of Windsor. I graduated from the University of Windsor, and I ended up playing AKO. I didn't play at the university. I played AKO for Coach Morancy, mostly because my brother played. My brother was an all-Canadian quarterback for Coach Morancy just before I played. So I was at their practices a lot and watched all their games, and I always wanted to play there, and my dad would take me to the games and stuff. So it was one of those things. So that's all I wanted to do was play there.
So instead of doing 4 or 5 years at University of Windsor playing football, you did 4 or 5 years playing AKO Fragment.
Yeah, I played AKO Fragment.
That's interesting. I never knew somebody would take that route. Usually it's I'll play at school.
There was a lot. You know what? When I played for Coach Morancy, there was probably half our team went to the university.
Oh yeah.
It just was a choice that guys made, and it was a great place to play, and Coach made it fun, and we had a really good team all the time. And he got me into coaching. So Coach Morancy, it's funny, it goes full circle because he's coaching with me now, but he got me a coaching job at Walkerville High School. At 19 years old, I was coaching at Walkerville High School as the head coach. So me and a few other guys from the team. And
now, when you were playing AKO Fragment, I mean, that was a gateway into the CFL and all that. Did you get a sniff, or did they?
No, I mean, I wasn't. You know what they say: those who can't teach or those who can't coach.
Can't teach.
I coached.
Yeah.
I was a good player, not a great player. I would never be an all-Canadian. My brother got that part of the talent. I guess I got the looks and the coaching acumen.
Now, how was it coaching, your first coaching gig and so on? How was that?
I look back now at what I did in high school, and it was crazy. It's like I'm a far better coach today than I was 25 years ago. But you know, I love the game, and that's all I wanted to do. And I loved coaching. I love that competitiveness that you can keep doing as a coach. Coach Morancy also talked to John Bloomfield when John took over the AKO job as the head coach in 1996 and got me as the receivers coach there. So I coached with John for 4 years, and it was great. We were undefeated for 4 years. We won a national championship in '99, and I was a very young coach with no gray hair. And now I'm not such a young coach anymore, but I've coached 22 years. So
were you? And I remember, and it's always been the football coaches, and they would constantly rip on the guys or whatever. Like, would you throw helmets and you hit them with straps and so on? Would that be the case with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a far different coach, and I think Coach Morency's a perfect example of it too, of reinventing yourself. So I think, like for me, it's my 22nd year as the head coach of AKO now at St. Clair. So 22 years straight that I've been the head coach, and guys who played for me 22 years ago probably would have seen a much different coach than I am today.
Yeah.
Because the world's different, kids are different.
Softer?
Maybe more introspective and more aware of their surroundings and more aware of what's out there for them. And it's not a bad thing. I think players are smarter today with things. They take care of themselves a little bit better. I do think the game's better today, contrary to most guys my age who think it was better back then. I don't think it was. I think the teams that I coach today would have beat the teams that I played for pretty handily. But it's fun.
Now when you guys were AKO Fratman, how did that whole merger happen? Because was the AKO not being supported by that charity
AKO was
group?
going through some very difficult financial times, like most of these smaller social organizations over the past. You see, from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. As the years went on, these social clubs really went away, and AKO was no different. It's no different than, I know the Legions are still going strong, but they were much stronger 40 years ago than they are today. And not really that much different. So the financial backing was hard, and it's hard to support a junior team. It's very expensive. So that was waning, and Coach Morency and I were together coaching, and he ended up buying the team from the AKO fraternity. So he owned it privately for 5 years.
That's interesting. I was wondering how this all started.
And so he was basically finding sponsorships and stuff for AKO so we could have a team, which was unbelievable because he's not independently wealthy. He's a regular guy that really just didn't want to see the team fold. So he did whatever he had to do, and much respect to him, because if he didn't do that, the team would have folded. St. Clair, Ron Segan was the vice president at St. Clair at the time. He was one of our major sponsors, so we had their patch on our jersey. In some of the pics, you can see the green patch on our AKO jerseys. And they were a major sponsor for a number of years. And then it ended up working out where they approached Coach Morency and offered to take the team over. I just remember the conversation like it was yesterday. Coach Morency called me and said, I'm going to sell the team to St. Clair College, but it doesn't guarantee us anything. They're going to give us a 1-year contract, basically, and then they could just fire us if they want. And I'm like, well, we'll bet on ourselves, right? We'll bet on ourselves.
Yeah, that's true, though.
Then we haven't lost a regular season game since we went to St. Clair, so I think it's worked out.
Which is funny, which brings me to this stat of yours, and it's like 146, but I think it's higher now.
Yeah, I don't keep track, but I mean, I'm sure it would be higher than that. We've been on a pretty good tear, so.
Well, this year for sure, that's for sure. Well, let's talk, and so now we're getting into the St. Clair College and that, and so how was last year? What a great feeling that was. I mean, awesome. You went the whole season without losing.
Yeah.
Or did you lose a game at all?
No,
not even.
We haven't lost.
But it was a lot closer last year, right? And not that it isn't challenging. That we'll get to that later, but.
The national championship game was, it's always, when you get out of the province especially, the competition level is really high. They put a lot of money into those programs. They have big budgets, and bigger than ours even still. Their coaches are full-time paid coaches in some cases. So
and with the cutbacks and all that at the school, has that hurt your program at all, or? You
know what, the school does a good job of not showing, like they don't give less to the athletes where the athletes see it face value. The athletes get what they get, and they get their scholarships, they get their gear that they get, they're first class on the road, they feed them, they do all those things. But behind the scenes, yeah, it hurts all the teams, whether it's football or soccer or basketball, are going to get hurt by cuts. I mean, it's not really fair to expect not to get cut when people have lost their jobs, so. You have to be sensitive to those situations, and St. Clair's always up front with us. So. And
you had a pretty good quarterback last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been pretty lucky to have good quarterbacks through the years. Is there a certain reason for that, or is it just off-season scouting and finding these guys that fit the program? And really, in the end, how do you get them to come to your school as well?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think we've been pretty fortunate. We've had some good local kids, good high school kids. We had Austin Lumley, and we had Brandon Riam, we had Michael Beal. Colton Allen, Dan Mayo. We've had a bunch of locals that have been really strong, and now Matt Cadet's kind of taken on that persona as the next local guy in the grand scheme of things. Maurice Soja was a 2-year All-Canadian for us, and he was the outlier where he was an out-of-town kid. He was from Kentucky, and that was a tough recruit. That one.
Yeah, and I'm curious about that because it's. I mean, they have D1, D3, D2, D3 over there, and to grab a kid and get them to come over here, is it hard to adjust for them?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, we're allowed 3 Americans and 3 international imports, and we've had very good luck. We've had Izat as an international import from the UK, and he got signed with the Montreal Alouettes last year. This year we got Jalen Burnett, who's an All-Canadian, 2-time All-Canadian at defensive end. He's from the U.S. So we've had like a multitude of success. Maurice Soja, obviously I mentioned, was from Kentucky and was a 2-time All-Canadian and MVP for us. They all come in different, they're all here for a reason, right? If it worked out and they're at Michigan, they would still be at Michigan. But they're usually at smaller schools. Sometimes they graduate and they have a year left. Sometimes they have academic troubles or financial issues. And we find them, there's a reason that they're here. The biggest key as a recruiter is find out why they're interested in coming and make sure it's for the right reasons.
Is it a pretty hard sell to sell these Americans?
Really, when you get them here,
or
if you get them on a plane and you get them here and they walk around campus, you usually land them. So you don't miss out on too many because the campus is so nice, the stadium's so nice, our locker room's outstanding. So that's really the best way to land them is to get them to campus. It's starting the conversation. That's the hardest part. I think the biggest thing with recruiting, whether it's a local, like a domestic kid in Canada, or even the Windsor area, or in particular the out-of-town kids, if it's a kid that's coming from afar, you got to find out if they're running from something or they're running to something. If they're running from something, you probably don't want them. If they're running to something and you could help them, then it's something that could work out.
And football seems to help a lot of kids that are kind of on this going the wrong way.
It really does. It really does. It's the greatest. I think it's the greatest game because the reason I said before, there's something for everybody, and there's just so much teamwork that needs to take place. And I played every sport, and I've never played in a sport where one guy couldn't take over. In basketball, one guy could take over. In hockey, you could have a goalie stand on his head and take over. As good as a guy like Soja was, or this year as good as Matt is at quarterback,
he didn't have somebody opening up.
If you don't protect the quarterback, I don't care if you have the best quarterback of all time there. If he doesn't have an offensive line to block for him or somebody to catch the ball, it's not going to work out.
And the thing about football, and I always remember, is that you always have everybody's back. You got to have somebody's back, so you're constantly going to war every down, every play of the game. You're going to war. If you don't do your job, that guy might get nailed.
You're right.
And it's always interesting, that sport. I was just looking, and you got Coach of the Year, your team got Team of the Year, Soja got Player of the Year. Do you really look into that? Or I mean, it's nice to have, but you're more...
I love it for the players because it means so much to them. Like Matt setting some records this year. He broke my brother's record for passing yards in a season for the franchise, which was really cool because I watched my brother do it, and he was such a wonderful player for AKO. And then to be part of it with Matt doing it this year was pretty special. And I saw Matt throw 35 touchdowns this year, which set an OFC record, so he's thrown the most in an 8-game schedule.
Didn't your quarterback? Oh, it was your brother that had the record?
Yeah, my brother had it from 1991. He had 2,100 yards roughly, and then Matt threw for 2,399, I think, this year. So it was pretty cool that I'm calling the plays and breaking my brother's record, right?
Yeah.
I know he doesn't care. My brother doesn't care about stuff like that anyway. So, but it is pretty cool to be on both sides of it.
Okay, hey, once again, make sure you guys like coming on here, and you're entered to win $50 gift card to Naughty V's Oyster Bar. Thank you, Tim Campbell at Century 21. Give Tim Campbell a call at 519-259-9999, and he will take care of you, just like he'll take care of you for this Thursday's game against Spitfires against the Guelph Storm. We got 3 tickets to give away, and we'll post it right away tonight, just so you guys got time to gather your 2 friends to go watch the game. But okay, so you were talking a little bit about this year's team, and I actually put it on my site. Were you getting flack? Like, you guys were just killing teams.
Yeah.
I mean, one team took the bus home with their tails between their legs, and I mean, are you pissed about that, or just?
No, you know what? Everybody's got their own problems, right? And the thing that I try to say, and sometimes it gets misconstrued what I'm trying to say, and I don't want to say this the wrong way, but we have one mission, and it's to win a national championship. And these teams that come in that we play, whether it's week 1 or week 8, we have things that we have to get accomplished. And I truly don't care. I tell my team every day, I don't care what the scoreboard says. If it says 93-0 at the half, or it says 1-0 at the half. If we played well, I'm happy. If we don't play well, I'm not happy. We've won lots of games where
how do you get mad at? Really?
All kinds. There's so many teaching points. And the 93-0 one, there wasn't a lot of teaching points, but I mean, There's teaching points in most games. We played Sioux College up in the Sioux, and we got them this weekend. It was a blowout on the scoreboard, but they gave us trouble at certain points of that game, and it was good because it makes guys realize, I got to get to work on Tuesday, I got to go to work on Wednesday, and truly those are the days, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for us is the meat and potatoes days that we're really getting to work. We're 2 hours in and we're getting after each other and we're trying to improve every day. And if we don't do those things, if we don't compete and improve every day in practice, then those games are useless and they're on the docket for why are they there.
And,
right?
and if I recall, it was 3 years ago, I think you guys had a great record as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you went to the first playoff game.
Yeah, we went to Saskatoon in the semifinals and we got shellacked 42-0.
Yeah.
And trust me, they didn't feel sorry for us either. So when I beat a team 42-0, my heart stopped breaking because I've been on the other side of it when we played Saskatoon.
Yeah.
So I've been beat by Saskatoon in the national final and the national semifinal by big crooked numbers. And I look across the sidelines and Coach Sargent is their head coach, and he's the only coach in the country at his program longer than I've been, and he's the only one with more wins in the CGFL than I have. And I can tell you, he does not feel sorry for me when he beats us by 42 points.
Oh, that's the Saskatoon.
That's
He's got,
Saskatoon
I think he has like
he's
200 and something.
Yeah,
and
he's
you're the next closest.
He's a few seasons ahead of me.
236 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
But he's the guy I'm chasing.
Well, in Ontario, you're the best.
Hey,
is
you're the best at something.
Is there any chance that, like, has the CFL gave you a sniff? Has the NFL gave you a sniff?
No.
Do they even recognize you
No,
for
I'm not
what
on
you
the
accomplished? Even the CFL?
I'm not on the radar for sure.
No?
It's
That's
not.
interesting, though.
You know what? When I was a younger coach, I used to think about stuff like that. Even university, coaching at university and stuff. When I'm happy with where I'm at, I've got a great job outside of football that I'm happy with. St. Clair treats me really well. I live 2 minutes away from the school. Life's good. I have no complaints. I just want more national championships.
Yeah, that's true. Now, are you going to continue on coaching?
Yeah, every year's different. Every year's different. I say that every year, but you know what? Winning, I guess it's a little bit like golf. If you hit one shot that you're happy with, it keeps you interested, right?
Yeah.
So with football, those losses stick with you for a long time, but the taste of success, especially winning a national championship last year against Okanagan at home, really, it didn't. It satisfies you, but it doesn't dampen the fire that's inside. And that's when you have that. And I always say to people, as long as you're having fun, I tell my players, if you're having fun, keep playing football. When you stop having fun, it's time to hang them up. With me, it's the same thing. Yeah, I have so much fun at practice. I mean, it keeps you young. Coach Morency, I keep bringing him up because I think it's the epitome of success to be able to be coach as long as he has and still have the joy.
Yeah, he's been a lot of years.
And all you have to do is go to one practice. Our practices are open to everybody. I welcome people to come and watch our practices because we have a whole bunch of fun. And we get a lot of work done, and we're serious about it, but we laugh more than anything. And I think that keeps everybody young in the process, right?
Excuse me. Do you have any players that, and you don't have to name them because obviously you don't want their heads to not fit their helmets, but is there pro teams looking at them and say, hey,
I'd say the biggest one, there's 2 right now, I think, or probably 3 right now that are really on the pro radar. Thomas Tavilli is a guy from Samoa, America that I recruited. He played 3 years for a small school in Washington, a Pacific Lutheran University. He's a 6'2", 6'3", 320-pound left tackle. That's the strongest human being I've ever coached, and that's not an exaggeration. Just a massive guy that's super strong and plays the position really well. I think he can easily play at the pro level. He's got some CFL interest right now. Camp St. Kitts Park is the best receiver in the country at our level. I think he could play at the CFL level, and hopefully he gets that opportunity. And then Jalen Burnett, another American defensive end from Minnesota, I think is on the CFL radar. Again, a 6'2", 255-pound guy that could really rush the passer. 2-time player of the year. So these kids are really high level. I think for the older guys out there that maybe I played with and stuff that haven't seen junior football since you played, you got to come out and watch, come to a practice. I really invite everybody out. If you played AKO or you played St. Clair College, we're open. We're open for business. Just give me a call. Come out to practice. I'll introduce you to the team. You see the talent. It's amazing. And just see the program that you helped build.
So that's interesting. These kids, when they step on the field and you watch it, can you tell right away, say, wow, if this kid has this and this and this, he's got a good chance to go?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you've been at the game long enough, you know. You watch Thomas Tavilli just walk into a room and you know he's a massive man. Yeah. And I call him Quadzilla because his pants don't fit because his quads he's got 32-inch thighs. So you know this guy's a monster. You see him in the weight room and he benches 225 pounds 35 times. And squats a house.
Speaking of your program, are you allowed to go through the summer, or is it called something else, weightlifting and all that?
No, we have a full off-season program. Matt Morency is our strength and conditioning coach. He played in the CFL. Coach Morency's son, Matt, is our offensive line coach. Played in the CFL. He's a Windsor police officer. And definitely knows his way around the weight room, and he pushes our guys. We have 4 days a week in the off season that we work out.
Really?
So, yeah.
Does it go year round, or you give
year
them
round? We give them a couple weeks off when the season ends. So hopefully
a couple weeks?
Hopefully the season doesn't end until November 9th, I think the national championship is. So we'll probably start up early December.
Wow.
And then give them a week or two off for Christmas, New Year's break, and then be back at it. So I think that's the only way you build a program, though. Otherwise, it's...
How about new recruits, or as soon as you say, okay, he signed, okay, you got to start here?
Yeah, the off-season program is really good because it's done via an app. So if a guy is from Lethbridge, Alberta, and he doesn't come to school until midsummer, he can work out all off-season on our app, and we can monitor his progress. So
hey, how's the feeder programs around here, like the Ravens and so on? How's that feeder program, or even the high schools?
Yeah, we'll go back to high schools. I mean, you've got a few real dominant high schools. We're very fortunate to have Holy Names and Herman that seem to be outstanding every year. They're both opposite teams, and Harry Lumley and Dan Hogan do a wonderful job at both those programs.
Good old Harry.
Yeah, hey, another guy that's kept relevant over the years and still does his thing on the sidelines. And I mean, much respect to guys like that who have been around. And now that I've been around a long time, I can appreciate it a little bit more. To coach that long and stay relevant is the main thing, right? You gotta reinvent yourself every year because people change, right? Yeah. And if you stay the same, the game has to survive.
How's your coaching staff, or does it relatively stay the same, or guys like they say, you know what, I just gotta take a year off, spend time with my family, and so on?
Generally, if a guy takes a year off, he's done.
Yeah.
Like if the wife says take a year off, you're done. It's fine, never take a year off. Because once you're out for a month, you're out for life, right?
Yeah.
So, but I've been very, very lucky. Our coaching staff's been like very consistent. I've had Stacey Norton, Jamie McCurry that have been with me for 20 years basically, and they've been guys that have been on my staff forever. And then, like I said, Coach Morency came back in 12 years ago and's been on the staff. Matt's been with me for a few years now. And then we sprinkle in some newer guys. So we'll bring some young guys in. We've got a couple young guys on staff that keep it fresh. They're in their 20s. They're real passionate about it. And it kind of rejuvenates the older coaches too. So it's a good mix. It's a really good staff. It's a good mix of guys and good mix of personalities. And like I said, no one's having more fun than the coaching staff.
That's actually interesting that you say that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's just talk about the big game.
Yeah.
You guys did crush them at the beginning of the year. They did score. I think they scored the most on you guys this year. And is there a plan, or is it just you guys have your plan? You've already been there last couple of years, so you kind of. But I mean, everybody's new as well. Well, not that everybody's new. Like, how many players did you lose last year compared to this year?
We've got about a 50% turnover on our team. There's about 40 new players on our team, and every year it's about the same. We usually turn over about half the roster every year.
Wow.
Well, it's a 2-year program college, right? So if a guy graduates a 2-year program and he gets a job, he's done playing football, whether he has eligibility left or not. So the turnover is going to be great at the college level, and then it's high at the junior level to begin with. So when you put those two things together, you do have a high turnover rate. Sioux College is a new team into the CGFL this year. They have a veteran coach that's coached both in the CGFL and U Sports, so they're going to be prepared. They have a good coaching staff. They have a bunch of really good players. They have some guys on their team that tried out for us or played for us. So there's some familiarity there. They're very athletic. I think they bring some things to the table that concern us. But at the end of the day, whether we're playing them or London or Okanagan or Saskatoon, I preach to our guys every day. It's more about us than it is about them at this point. We have to do what we do really well. We can't reinvent ourselves to play another opponent. We're not going to change from a spread offense to a power I tomorrow. We're going to be who we are, and we just have to be very good at what we do. And we have nothing to worry about if we do that.
And how nervous and nerve-wracking is like going, or you're probably watching all the films of the guys like BC, Saskatchewan, and all those other teams that come to play. Where is the championship this year?
It would be in the prairies, so probably Saskatoon or Regina would probably host. The semifinals is in BC, so likely in Okanagan. Rivals. So we played Okanagan the last 4 years. We played them twice, and we played Saskatoon twice in the last 4 years. So it's teams that we're very familiar with. I haven't watched any film really other than just like glance at a game for 20 minutes. I haven't watched any. I haven't locked in and watched any film on any team outside of Ontario. People could tell me that we beat these teams by 60 points every time we play them, but there's a reason for it. We take them serious. We're locked in on Sioux College right now, and we're treating this like it's the national final. So. And
it's funny you said there's Sean Quinn. He's on the site here, but it was just funny because when I posted that thing, I think it was him that went off and went, "Hey, we're winning. We don't care what you guys think. We're going all the way," and so on. So, okay, once again, make sure you guys come on here. You're in to win. $50 gift card to Naughty V's Oyster Bar. Thank you, Tim Campbell and Century 21. Give Tim a call at 519-259-9999. And also, the Spits played well this weekend. And thank you again, Tim Campbell, giving away 3 tickets. All you got to do is like the show, and you're entered to win. And also, so, you know, before we get going, how's your personal life? Like, you're married, kids, and
yeah,
you have football kids. You got
no, you know what? No,
throwing a ball.
No, I've coached my son in baseball for a number of years, and he stopped playing around COVID. And he's in university now, doing well. He must not. He doesn't take after me in the way that he's very smart.
Yeah,
football's not his life, so that's good for him.
And does football take up a lot though?
It takes up so much. I
like,
mean,
are you like, hi honey, I'm home?
It's late nights all the time. We practice every night, and we don't take much time off in the off season. We're busy, so
football's like a short season too, though. So you're 4 months going hard.
Yeah,
and then
then it's like I said, we go 4 days a week. We work out, and then recruiting. With me personally, I take a lot of pride in recruiting.
Oh, wow.
And like I'm on the phone recruiting basically every day, like whether it's Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or wherever the case may be, Euro player.
Those kids that are those international students, they just send tapes of themselves playing?
Sometimes they'll send me stuff. Usually I'm finding them, so I'm looking through, and it's like somebody who I followed's got some post on there from somebody, and it's trickle down effect, and I find somebody that I like, and really it takes. I always tell Coach Moranci, I'll call him and I'll say, I like this guy. He's a 3 highlight player, and he starts laughing because if we have to watch more than 3 highlights, we're probably not interested. So you better put your stuff at the start of the tape. That's real good, real good. Because if I'm not impressed after the first 3, I'm probably shutting it off, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy man, so I wish you the best, and good luck this year in the playoffs. Well, good luck. Do you play this weekend?
We play this weekend 1 o'clock. That's important. 1 o'clock. We normally play 7 o'clock games, but since Sue's traveling from afar and they're a friendly college, we've been nice enough neighbors to move the game to 1. So we're at Acumen College at 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Are they coming here like Wednesday, tomorrow?
Well, they'll come here. No, they'll come here Friday night. They'll come here Friday afternoon into the evening, and they'll stay overnight Friday, and then we'll play Saturday.
You guys practice all the way up to? You practice Friday?
Yeah, we'll have
a
walk through Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, walk through.
Just a walkthrough. Yep.
All right. I wish you the best of luck, and thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.